What's up, my friends? This is Sammy Geek back here with another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite features after owning the Flip 3 for about a week. So I've had a few days now to try this device and wanted to talk about some things that I found are probably the most unique features about this and what have been my favorite features over the past few days of using this. I do want to start out with the caveat, of course, that I am an avid Note user. So I've always had the big phone screens with the big massive batteries. This for the past several years, that's what I've been using. And so I've taken a little bit of a plunge to make the switch to this guy. But let's start out with number one. What is my number one favorite feature of this phone? Number one is actually a combination of a few different items. It's that number one, of course, that the thing flips. Number two, that it's thin, and number three, that it's light. Those aren't number 1, 2, and 3, but they're all kind of combined for number one. So the fact that this thing flips obviously creates a totally different form factor for this particular phone. So it is much easier to carry than the Note 20 Ultra. And so I really like that, that it's so thin as well. It just feels really good in the hand. So that's my number one, probably best like about this phone, is the thinness and lightness of it. So of course, surprise, surprise, right? That's number one. So number two is the front screen. So I do have a smartwatch, and you guys have probably seen my other videos on the smartwatch, but the front screen is pretty handy, and I've learned to like it. I do like, of course, the always-on display, which I always kept on my other phone as well. But with this one, it's a little bit unique because the always-on display is in the small form factor. So in other words, you have, your phone is taking up half the counter space and you're able to still see the time and so forth. And I think it really adds, so the look of this phone is really cool, just kind of sitting on your desk, sitting on the table. And then to see the clock on it, I think is cool. And then it's a little bit of a surprise when you double tap on the screen and you can get your, the clock kind of brightens up and you can get whatever image you have in the background. I always think that's pretty cool every time I do that. And then of course, if you swipe over, you're gonna see your notifications, and you can switch around and see some other functionality on this thing. But that is pretty handy, for a quick change of a song, or if you get a quick email or a text message, you can just scan over and you don't have to change form factors. Which is pretty cool. So that's my number two favorite thing. Number three is that this thing is really, actually my number three favorite feature is that it's really easy to hold when you are in landscape mode. So if we were to go into a video right now and you hold this phone, the video takes up this section of the screen, and there's a black bar here and there's a black bar here. But what that allows is for you to be able to hold the phone just as you can see as I'm holding it right here. And that really changes the game when it comes to being able to watch a video comfortably. So you can see I'm just holding the phone here in my hand. If I hold it like this, it still doesn't block the video. So I'm a huge fan of that. That was actually a surprise because of the narrowness of this thing. Of course, the screen being a little bit narrow is a downside to some people, but it ends up being a huge plus side when you're holding it like this. It's even doing it two-handed like I'm doing it now, it was a pleasant surprise. It was completely unexpected, and it ends up being my number three favorite thing about this phone. Number four is an important one to me. If you guys have followed my channel, you guys know I do a ton of speaker reviews, and I'm a big fan of Bluetooth speakers and just sound in general and music. I've got, if we jump back in here, I have two different, I have YouTube Music and I also have Spotify. So I actually do subscribe to both of these. And so I have a lot of different music choices. And this phone has really great speakers. So there's a downward firing speaker here, which you can see that here's the grill. And then the speaker up here, you see these 3 slots right here. It is very loud compared to your normal like Note 20 Ultra. I noticed that when I'm listening to the speakers, generally speaking, this is a little bit more biased. Like normally the downward firing speaker on a Note 20 Ultra seems to be like the loudspeaker, but this one seems to be a little bit louder here on the top. I suspect it's due to not being quite as dust resistant as other phones. so they're able to kind of air this out a little bit. When I say air it out, I mean make it louder. So my favorite feature is putting it in the corner of the room. So for example, if you're gonna listen when you're gonna take a shower, or if you're in the kitchen making some food and you wanna listen to your speakers, you can set this like this and set it on the table, and then have the wall on the back, and the sound bounces off the wall. And and better yet, if you have a corner of a cabinet, and you can kind of stick this in the corner, so you've got a wall here and a wall here. And what I found is if you put it too close to the wall here, that's not the best sound. So what you do is just move it just an inch away from the wall like this, and it produces almost like the sound echoes a little bit behind it, and it sounds fantastic. You guys, this for me is the best sounding phone that I've ever heard. I don't know, I don't think maybe it's a tie with the Fold 3, but it's really impressive compared to the Note 20 Ultra. The sound is awesome. So you can use this, you know, if you're chilling in a hotel room and you want some tunes, or, you know, you're getting ready to go out or whatever and you just want to listen to some music. Again, having the flexibility of setting this thing wherever you want, and having a wall back here, or again, the corner. You know, normally, yeah, you can set your phone up. Even if it was a fixed device, it's still, the speakers rock, but that's just changes the game for you to be able to set it like that. So number 5 is options. I've mentioned in a previous video, but this phone is really like a companion. It does everything. My only wish is that it had a bigger battery. The cameras, I think, are just fine for this year, but I do wish it had a little bit bigger battery, because then it would just be the 100% complete package. The phone itself, the cool part is, so you see how it sits right here? It's like a normal slab phone. So throughout the day, if I'm just working from my office, I'll just set the phone on the table like this, and I'll just pretend that it didn't fold at all. It didn't flip. And so it's a regular phone. It just sits here. I get a text message. I can go in here if I want to. But then let's say I leave the office and I'm gonna flip it closed. I'm gonna throw it in my pocket, and then I go up to the kitchen or whatever, or I'm gonna go out for lunch, and I'm just gonna set it here. Now I've got it in the secondary form factor where I'll use the front screen. So now I have options. Like maybe I wanna carry a slab phone. So let's say I'm gonna have a suit on for the day. I'm going to a fancy event or something, and I don't want my phone to be sticking out, showing this huge lump in my pocket. So then what I could do is, for the day, just flip it open and slide it in my pocket like a slab phone. But then I get the benefit of this paper thin phone being in my pocket, not showing a print of a phone. Hey, I want a slab phone for the afternoon. I want a foldable device for the afternoon. I want to use the front screen because I'm going to save some battery, or I just want to check a quick text message, or I want to jump here and I want to do a picture with the front screen, or I want to do a picture with it open, or I want to use it like a camcorder, or I want to listen to some music and set it in the corner, which we've talked about before, or I just want to set it up like a damn teepee. I don't know. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this phone. This is why there's a couple other reviewers that really dig this device as well as I do, or as much as I do. And I think that is what the hard part is. It's hard to get by or get around the fact that this thing is so handy in that way. And I think I've nailed it in figuring out why this thing is so popular for the people that are loving it. And that is just it. It's the versatility of this device. It's the options that you have. You got to be a little bit more careful if you're going to use it as a slab phone and you're going to throw it in your pocket. You want to obviously make sure there's not keys and things in your pocket that are going to scratch up this, but you have the option to do it, and you don't have that option with other phones. And just having the flex mode versus having to figure out how I'm going to prop up my old slab phone, right? That is what the selling feature is of this phone, and that is why that has made my top 5 list. So if you guys have any questions about those features or any questions about this phone, hit me up, and I will continue to keep you guys posted here as the days go on how I like this thing. As a side note, I do have the carbon fiber cover coming. That's going to arrive here in the next couple days, so I'm pretty psyched to get that in my hands and get that on this. So I like having it uncovered, but I believe that it is a little bit slick, and I just want to add a little bit of style and a little bit of grip to this guy. So with the exception of that, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys soon. See ya.